What is going on YouTube and Weight Loss Warriors? It's your boy C-Dub and I'm back at it with another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about eating and if it's a habit, and I'll get back at it right after this. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy C-Dub. My Weight Loss Warriors, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you as a part of the family. I'm so excited to have you as a part of the channel. You guys, if you haven't already done it, subscribe, hit that like button, guys, and just make sure you're supporting the Weight Loss Warriors, and we're out here trying to make a change. But today, that's not why you tuned in. You tuned in to hear about eating and whether it's a habit. Well, guys, I think it's an interesting conversation to have, and it's a conversation that I had with my dad, and my dad is actually the one that brought it to my attention. And he said that when he smoked, when he was a young man, he quit smoking when my brother was 1 year old. So my brother is now, I believe, 45 years old. So he hasn't smoked a cigarette in 44 years. So, but when he was smoking, he said that he noticed when he was quitting that the hardest time for him was when the phone rang, because when the phone rang, that's when he lit up a cigarette. Breaks at work, when he walked outside. There were these certain times a day. It's the second he finished eating a meal. So he had 4 or 5 examples of when he instantly just didn't even think about it, lit up a cigarette. And so when he quit, he found himself being okay all day, and then one of those situations would happen. He'd step outside and he'd be reaching in his pocket for a cigarette. And then he would say, oh man, I'm not smoking anymore. And he'd have to think about it, and it would be like a hard thing. So then we started talking about that and how funny that is, because eating is the same, or could be the same, at least in my experience. And I want to see if it's right in yours. So as I go through, I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know if you agree with me. But when I was eating my OMAD, it wasn't the fact that I was hungry, I realized a lot of times. It was the fact that that's what I would normally do. And I'll give you some examples. So not only, of course, we get up in the morning, I would go downstairs, I would get the meal prep that I had prepped for breakfast, I would throw it in the microwave, and I would hit the road and eat. So that, cutting that out and going to work was different, but it wasn't, the end of the world. But when I would be at work, I would notice that, oftentimes they would just get bowls of candy and put them out there. So I walk past a bowl of candy and grab 3 pieces, go to my room, down them, no thought at all to it. Then one day I'm walking by, now I'm intermittent fasting, and there's the candy. And it's like, do I take the candy now? Do I save it for later? I don't know what to do. I'm a little bit off here. And then I noticed that there's certain things, like when I would get home from work, I would go straight in and grab something to eat. I noticed that on the weekends when we would go out and do things, that I would always grab some kind of like a granola bar when I was walking to the car for no reason at all. So, and it's not that I was sitting there saying to myself on the way to the car, hey, I need a granola bar. It was just what I always kind of did. And, I can kind of see those habits trickle through, even into my children. An example of that is when the grandparents are in town, they keep candy in their car. And so the second they pull up, my kids are at their car. And every time they see Mimi and Grandpa's car, they head for the candy. And that's okay. Mimi and Grandpa aren't here every day, so I'm not putting the kids down for that. But I can see how that develops into this weird habit where they're not even thinking. Mimi and Grandpa are there. They're booking to the car. So I think that we do get in those habits. I think that the hardest part of OMAD isn't maybe necessarily when you're first getting going or even intermittent fasting. It's stopping yourself from doing the things that you've been doing for so long that are related to eating. And so, you might be going to work and you're passing that Starbucks. You stop every day and get a whatever Starbucks drink you like, and now you can't. And so the fact that you can't hurts you more than the fact that you actually need it, or the fact that you're actually hungry. And so I just thought that it was very strange, but I truly believe now that I do OMAD that eating is a habit. And I'll give you one more quick one on that. Basically, even with my OMAD now, I'm never hungry. I never crave food at all. People always talk about, well, they get hungry at night if they don't eat enough or if they eat too early. I can eat breakfast and I won't crave food at night. I'm fine, 100% fine. But on my way home from work, when I know I'm going to eat, when I park my car, I'm not even thinking about food driving home. When I get out of my lifting and then my walk, and I walk in the front door, and all of a sudden hunger hits me from my toes to my head. Because my body knows it's time to eat. It's a habit. It's basically like feeding your dog. You know when the dog knows when the food's getting put down every day. You guys know they do. You know, your animals, when you feed the fish, they know the food's there. And I think as human beings, we do the exact same thing. So I think if you break your habits, OMAD will be easier. That's just a tip from me, and I totally think eating's a habit. You tell me what you think down below. I appreciate you joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.